Hi, welcome to the program, It's All About You. And today our guest is Mr. David Silver. How you doing today,
I'm
David?
doing fine, sir.
All right, all right. Have you ever thought about being in a Twilight Zone or the old program called Outer Limits? David's book will take you there and back.
Okay. When I finished my first book, which was kind of a political thriller, adventure, I decided I wanted to try science fiction on it. And a lot of times at night I'd lay there just thinking about what I wanted to write about. And I listened to Coast to Coast AM quite often. And it's on from midnight to 4 in the morning. And they talk about everything, UFOs, conspiracies.
I heard that show a few times.
Yeah, everything. And then one particular night they were talking about how in 1954, President Eisenhower had an encounter with gray aliens. And supposedly we lost a couple hundred planes trying to get rid of them. But they were so advanced, our planes just didn't have a chance. But back then, they didn't have the media that we have now, and they were able to keep it secret.
Okay, so some of that stuff is true then, what took place.
It's very possible. Now I can't. It's pretty well agreed upon that he actually had a meeting with the Grays. The one near Palm Springs, there's a base, I think it's Edwards Air Force Base. Anyway, the whole idea here is that they signed a treaty, and the treaty allowed them to have, supposedly had a couple of bases here in the United States, and one is where Area 51 is, where it was started, and another in Dulce, New Mexico. And this way we could watch them and keep our eyes on them. Now, part of the treaty allowed them to abduct our people and do tests on the people and return them as long as they didn't remember what had happened. I mean, you hear about this all the time.
Yeah, you see a movie about that.
All the time. This stuff has been going on for all these years. So I got to thinking about that. I got to thinking about the amount of people that go missing every year, and I went and checked on the missing people's database and found out every year in the United States, 600,000 to 900,000 people are reported missing every year. And the whole story at that point is on the way back, they run into humanoids that were supposedly the guardians of Earth, not the people, the planet. Because of all its resources, the Earth is a very tempting place with the water and the gold and diamonds. It's got all these minerals, and so they find out from those humanoids that the Greys were getting ready to invade and take over Earth, and they get the option of going back and telling the president what's going on.
Right.
But then they have to deal with it. actually attacking the Greys on a nearby planet. And these humanoids would help them. They call it Anunnaki. They would help them with their ship with some weapons, special weapons.
Yeah, but you don't want to tell the whole story.
No, okay. Well, anyway,
I know it's been interesting, but tell me, so how long have you been doing this?
Ryan,
Yes.
I began a book the summer before President Obama was elected.
Okay.
And it took me, that's the first book, it took me right around 2 years to finish it because I was working. I would say all the old movies
Okay.
that I grew up with got me interested in it. Because I've been watching movies for 50 years. I mean, there's so much good science fiction that started with Forbidden Planet in the late 50s. It was like the first Star Wars. The special effects and everything were incredible in that. The thing about it now is, if they can think about it, they can make it appear on screen.
Okay.
You know, because they can do anything with computers, so they don't have to spend huge amounts of money for special effects.
So are you one of the guys who look at the stars at night?
I occasionally do. You know, I'm always up there looking for Orion, because I always like to see it. And last night there was a real pretty scene. The moon was about a quarter.
Okay.
And you know, it kind of has that cup look on it. And to away from the cup was a planet, and I'm pretty sure it was Jupiter. And it was just, they were close together,
Okay.
so that you could see them both real easily right there. So it was neat to look at. I mean,
Okay. Now for your book, where can they find your book?
it's available at Amazon and Barnes and Noble, and I think you can buy it directly from the publisher if they want to. But those two places right now that I know of that we've got.
Your next book, I know we're skipping a lot, but I love the idea of your next book.
You're talking about the mystery.
Yes.
Yes. Now that's actually there's another book out before it.
Okay, you talking about?
No, that's that one there is is going to be the prequel.
Okay.
But see, the next book I'm looking for a different publisher
Okay.
because the current publisher deals with science fiction, fantasy, and horror, the suspense, murder.
And it sounds outstanding. I mean, it's like it'd be. I'm looking for a movie from that one. That's gonna be.
I wrote it for women, and the reason I wrote it for women is because I saw how well, because I'd be sitting in Barnes and Noble writing it on weekends, and I saw how well that 50 Shades of Grey was jumping out of the store. I mean, they'd stack up 50 at a time when it first came out, and they'd go through 20, 30 of them in one day.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I said, well, you know, it's sex. It's a book about sex, and it's women. And I saw that, you know, really, if you go into a bookstore, most 60 to 70% of the books that are sold to women.
Mm-hmm.
Men have, I guess, too much time or not enough time to be sitting around reading. Or women, the ones that are married anyway, have more time to do that. You know, I'm just guessing. You know, I'm just trying to figure out why. But it's a story that's it's about a man who's having his 7th anniversary to his second wife, and he's an ex-football star and a big-time lawyer that lives on the cliffs of Malibu, and his wife married him for his money.
Wow.
You know that, and it's.
I just can't wait to that come out. I wanna read that myself. I mean, but how can people get a hold of you? If they want to get a hold of you, or if in school would like to bring you in to talk to some of the students.
Well, they can get through to me on Facebook. David Solar, there. You can get them there, or if they need to, they can email me.
Okay.
And it's dsolar@stx.rr.com. And I'll be glad to talk to anybody with schools, but I've given my books to some of the high schools.
The next one though sounds like it's gonna be a winner. But I'm just more into drama and such,
Well,
but-
no, it's totally different. I mean, it's a Groundhog Day kind of story, and he's been injured, and he's lost his ability to move his arms and legs. Excuse me, and he's talking to God a lot. You know, like because nobody can hear him, he can't speak. You know,
Wow.
so that's the only thing he has to hold on to is his faith,
Faith.
in God. So as he keeps talking to God, and nothing happens. Nothing happens. He's just he's almost mad because here he is, this wealthy guy,
Crying out.
and he's crying out for help, and he's not helping. Well, after about a month in the hospital, they send him home with a 24/7 nurse, and then the wife sends the killer back because the killer he was injured by a killer who didn't finish the job, so she sends him back in to kill him so she can get the money. Well, he's shot. His nurse is killed, and he's fallen to the light.
Okay.
And he's screaming out to God, don't let it end like this.
So
Yeah,
now we gotta wait till the book come out to see how it ends.
well, he's given a second chance.
Okay.
He starts the day again. And he does what he can to correct it. But it goes sour again. It's like you can't change it, but he does change it. But it's just he's still in the same boat he was before.
Okay. Okay. Now also, let me get this book right here.
This is my first book, and it's about a president who was trying to be reelected, and his ratings were so terrible that they conned him in to refunding the Orion project. So, excuse me. So the president can go into space because we love our astronauts and be reelected. Well, as it turns out, he has a bad dream about seeing the space station explode. So he agrees to it only if we have a shuttle on standby with soldiers in it that are trained to save it in case something goes wrong. Well, of course, something goes wrong. Yeah, it's just, I mean, you know, but I entered this book in 2 national contests, and it was a finalist in both.
All right. Congratulations to
You
you.
know, so it was a pretty good story. Now, that we're going to re-release this book after the sequel comes out for this book, and I'll have a different cover because we don't have the rights to this cover.
Oh, okay.
The first publisher went under, but they have the rights to this cover. So we'll have a different cover. I don't know exactly what it'll look like. It may be similar to it, but it'll be a prequel. And so we'll have 3 books in the series. The next one after this is called Leaped into Evil. And it just continues. It's a continuation, and there's monsters in it, and there's huge spiders and in that story.
Well, okay, Dave, we want to thank you for being our guest.